Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Joel, and Alexia and I welcome you to our podcast. And today is a really special one. It's a continuation of your precious immune system. For those newcomers who tuning in for the first time, yesterday, what we said was that in the history of medicine, which is 3,000 years old, going to ancient Rome, ancient Greece, it wasn't until 1970 that a newly discovered organ, the thymus, was worked out. And is 1970. I happened to be in the lab, which helped contribute to the elucidation of the thymus. So everyone heard of T cells, and those are the cells from the thymus. And the interesting thing with the newly discovered thymus, in medicine, there's two immune systems now instead of one. The old system was mainly serum antibodies, little molecular bullets, mainly against viruses. But with T cells now, we have an army and a navy. And B cells and T cells, because the antibodies are produced in the bone marrow, hence the term B cells. And the T cells, of course, obvious, the thymus. So we have a dual immune system. So the textbooks had to be rewritten to show that there's two immune systems now. And the T cells in particular, they're cell killing, okay, a lot of them natural killer cells. And they hit mainly bacteria and fungi and molds, but also that's your basic surveillance mechanism against cancer. So it's called immune surveillance against cancer. The T cells will circulate in the blood and the lymphatic circulation and will check many different types of cancers. And Alexia and I, what we mentioned yesterday was that the big thing which knocks out your precious T cell system, okay, the thymus dependent immune system, is guess what? The stress hormone cortisone. And that is the long-term stress hormone, as opposed to when you work out at the gym, which is adrenaline. Adrenaline subsides very quickly, but the cortisone is long-term stress, and that will knock out your precious immune system. So if you want to go back to yesterday, we mentioned the things which will decrease stress to preserve your T cells. Today is really exciting and is a continuation of yesterday, is that we're talking in adults now, but how about in children that don't have an immune system? And this is really fascinating because there was a baby born in Houston, Texas, and the little baby, 1971, didn't have any thymus at all. Not only did the little baby have no thymus, but the little baby didn't have any antibodies from the B cells. So the condition was called severe, obviously, combined, meaning T cells and B cells, immune deficiency. And so the little child didn't have any immune system, no T cells, no B cells, and is the only choice for the child was to live his life, his name was David, in a sterile plastic bubble. And he was known, of course, as baby in a bubble or a bubble baby. Now, time-wise, this is very interesting. This was 1971. I was really lucky because I was given a fellowship from the National Institutes of Health at Baylor College of Medicine in the experimental biology division of Michael DeBakey's surgery department. So is what we did in terms of grant money from our department, we brought in the world experts in germ-free research. That's called NOTO with a G, NOTO Biology. And they came from Notre Dame. And they even came in their habits there from Notre Dame. And the head of the team was probably the #1 expert in the world in germ-free research at the time. His name was Dr. Raphael Wilson. And I had the pleasure of working with their team. Dr. Wilson was the head of the team to help build the plastic sterile isolator for David. And interestingly, is that his psychological development, he lived in the bubble there, Texas Children's Hospital, and his psychological development was way ahead of other kids. Why? Because he got so much attention from the nurses and the doctors, and it was a big team there. So is he lived in his life in the bubble, and a tremendous amount was learned because it was a seminal case in the history of medicine. So his own life, of course, was a little sad, but so much was learned to help out other children. So that was called The Baby in the Bubble, and a movie was actually made with John Travolta, who played David in the bubble. So what are the lessons learned from all of this? Number one, big time, is our precious, precious, precious immune system. We cannot see because of our eye resolution, bacteria, viruses, fungi, molds. We can't see them, but we live in a sea of germs. And Mother Nature gave us this wonderful, wonderful, precious immune system. The rock stars being T cells from the thymus, B cells, the antibodies from the bone marrow, and the non-specific big eaters, macrophages. So what we're going to do is continue the series on building up your precious immune system, preserving it, and Alexia and I wish you happy holidays, and thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.